Morning everybody, welcome to the morning after the show, the morning after the night before. And what a win, or what a performance, what a result that was for the team last night. Away to Leicester, 2-0 up at half time, 4-0 up at one point. The most goals we've scored in a game this season in the Premier League. And wow. Ended up 4-2, a little nervous at the end when Leicester scored their second. I would have loved for us to have gone up the other end and scored a fifth, but you know, I'm not gonna. If you said to me before the game you're gonna beat Leicester, I'd have snapped your hand off. If you said before the game you're gonna draw and play well, I'd have snapped your hand off. But to dominate Leicester dominate is probably the wrong word because they had the majority of the possession, but to play as well as we did and limit them so much, particularly in that first half, was brilliant. We had a game plan, we stuck to that game plan to great effect. It was weird, our attacking ambitions all came from Leicester's attacking ambitions. Obviously the counter-attack is a tactic we see used every weekend from numerous different teams, but you know, it was not flawless, but everyone played well. Excuse me. Everyone played well. I can't think of a single player who was shit. We've seen in recent weeks, all throughout the season, even when we played well, there's always someone who struggled, or you know, you could argue maybe Jacob Murphy didn't have his greatest game, but he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't battered or ripped apart. So yeah, let's go through it. Usually I like to go negatives, positives and negatives. There's only one negative and it's a small one. I'll leave that to the end. So back to front, Martin Dubravka, arguably, I think it will be Callum Wilson probably, but arguably our man of the match. You know, some stunning saves. Save from Fofana from a corner, Jamie Vardy towards the end of the first half. There was one from Jose Perez, which he looked like he whipped it into the top corner from outside the box. Dubra's got there. Great performance. The commentator said it, you know, if anything you can do, I can do better, sort of thing. You know, after Kasper Schmeichel saved one-on-one from Alison Maxman, which was a fantastic save. You know, early up. What the fuck are you doing? Early on in the first half, you know, we broke really well. Jacob Murphy, great ball down the right to Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson running the channels, working the channels like he does so well. Got clear, decent pace, got away, put it on a plate for Alan Saint-Maximin. You're thinking, yes, 1-0. ASM continues his run in good form. I've got him in my fantasy team. I was like, come on, what a save. Then they went up the other end. Dubras did a similarly impressive save. Matt Ritchie, didn't notice him as much as you have done recently, but again, I'll do him and Murphy again. They weren't the stars of the show like they were against Tottenham and you know, Burnley at times in recent weeks. You know, that those two have been really, really good. Obviously, last week no one was good, but we'll talk about that at the end. So they tackled well, they defended well. It was different for Murphy because obviously he didn't have what's his name? Didn't have Harvey Barnes really going at him much. And Matt Ritchie had different people down his channel. We really targeted them down their right flank, I believe. Matt Ritchie did some good overlaps, decent cross in the box. Those two, they weren't crap, they weren't fantastic, but they did their jobs. Can't ask anymore. Three centre backs. Federico Fernandez was solid. Gave away a couple of fouls in dodgy positions. I think one tackle. I believe he got a yellow card, and I didn't think that was a yellow at any fucking stretch of the imagination. But he was solid. Back to his form, sort of early on in the season. In the second half of last season, he was really good, I thought. Emil Kraft, right. I've stuck up for him at points because if you wind the clock back to the Burnley game, the first Burnley game at St James's Park, I thought he was excellent. He was good at right back, got shoved into centre back when we had an injury. I think Fabian Schär again injured, and he was up against Chris Wood. They clearly targeted him, and he did all right. He handled him. Yesterday, I thought he was good. Good awareness, didn't shirt out of any tackles. Just a good performance. Good performance, sort of like 8 out of 10 performance. Really, really good. It was nice to see him play well. I've given him a lot of stick in the last few months, particularly after the 2 games that stand out with him being especially shite were the West Brom game, West Brom away, when he was just, he had like a half volley from a corner and he put it out the stadium, and he couldn't put a cross in. He was afraid to tackle. He'd get the ball, just hoof it as hard as he could in the air, like a kick and chase from rugby union sort of thing. And then against Tottenham, that scared attempt at a clearance where he should have just put his foot through it and he bottled it and it cost us a goal. But forgetting all that, yesterday he proved me wrong. He proved the doubters wrong. He was really good, and well done, Emil, and hopefully he can keep that up. I thought he was class yesterday. Pick of the 3, purely because of his goal. First goal in over 5 years. So happy to see this guy score. A genuine, I've never met him, but from what you hear from the club and from socials of his work with the community and charities and stuff, a top bloke, a genuine nice guy, a local fella, Paul Dummett, been there a long time. Great header, good performance, great to see him score. First goal in I think 5 years or something like that. Fantastic news. Great to see him bag himself a goal. Onto the midfield now. So it was that sort of, I'll say 3-5-2, and it worked. So we had Sean Longstaff dropped out. Disappointed to see him on the bench, really, because I think he's improved. All right, last week aside, I think he's improved from where he has been under Bruce. Since he's come back into the team, he's done really, really well. But you can't argue with Joe Willett coming in, and wow, he justified his selection. Great goal, the first goal of the game, got the opener, latched onto I think Soyuncu, was it? He pressured him, got away from him, good pace, left foot, bang, past Schmeichel. Fantastic goal. I think that's his 5th goal since January, for a lad who hasn't started many games, on loan, new team. We've got to sign this fella. Really good energy throughout. He came off probably a bit late in my opinion, but again I'll get to that at the end. But he did really, really well. You can't fault his performance. Not flawless. He gave the ball away a few times. He looked a little bit sort of lost in the midfield, as opposed to, do I go and press or do I hold my position at times? But you've got to, what do you put that down to? Still a relatively new team, hasn't started much, and you have to say, that's up to the other 2 alongside him, John Joe Shelvey and Miguel Almiron, to sort of help him, and all 3 of them have got to help each other. But yeah, great goal, good performance. John Joe Shelvey, not his best performance, but he didn't do anything wrong majorly. I don't think. He was steady, pinged the ball about a little. Well, not pinged it, just passed the ball around a little bit. Just turn that off. No idea how to turn it off. A steady Eddie performance from John Joe Shelvey. We didn't see him not bottling, but we didn't see him being lazy. He had, I think it suited him. He could play that sort of, there we go. He could play that quarterback role with 2 midfielders with lots of energy alongside him. Whereas I think with Sean Longstaff alongside him, as much as I like Sean Longstaff, he tries, but he doesn't have the sort of speed going up and back quick. What was that around me? quick runs. He can sort of do... Well, he's a bit like Joelinton. He's fast when he wants to be, but it takes him time to get up to that point where you need someone who's like shuttle running along the midfield. I might be talking absolute shite, but I know what I'm trying to say. And Miggy Almiron and Joe Willock are those people. So John Shelby, I've criticised him a lot recently. I thought he was okay last night. He's good. Doesn't deserve to be dropped for the next game. Miggy Almiron, now a player I heavily criticised last week. What does he bring to the team? What does he actually do? Great performance. Fast. Good dribbling. Great passing behind for Callum Wilson's first goal, I think it was. Lovely. Whipped ball in behind. Fantastic. He showed willing as always. Good energy. Good enthusiasm. Good passing. A couple of times I do think he still gets the ball and he like sort of does like a little 360, like he turns, and he doesn't quite know what to do. But perhaps I jumped the gun a little bit last week. Perhaps that is lack of options. I still think there's more to come from him. I still think he needs to improve. But after me criticising him last week, he certainly changed my mind this week. He's really, really good. Front two, well, ASM. I said at half-time, I did a little half-time video because I didn't do Friday reflections because I was working, and I didn't manage to do the lineups because I come home from work and we were mental busy, and the little one was climbing all over me, so I didn't have time. So I'm going to do like a little half-time video as well from now on. ASM, I thought he was good. At times I think he needs to pass quicker, maybe. He should have got a goal right at the start of the game, but that is less of a poor finish, and what a save from Kasper Schmeichel. So I'm not going to criticise ASM for that because it was a fabulous save. That's one of those that you just got to applaud the goalkeeper. Really, really good. I said at half-time I wanted him to get on the ball and run at them more. That didn't really happen much in the second half. We sort of not sat off because we only got 2 goals. We definitely sat off at 4-0. But yeah, he came off and it was, fine. Job was done. It's just run of games for him now. You know, he came on against Burnley, started against West Ham, started against Liverpool, started against Arsenal, started against Leicester. So nice run of games for him now. Right, Callum Wilson, fantastic. Yes, to see him back in the goals. Brilliant to see him back scoring goals. Constant. He is so fucking good. He makes such a difference to our team. It's unbelievable. His movement, his running, his tenacity, his work in the channels. He gives so much more options, and he knows what the fuck he's doing as well. Because ASM's a bit of a maverick, and he's here, there, he pops up here, he pops up there. Wilson gives another option. So if ASM's going to pop up in number 10, he'll go long. If ASM's going to go long, he'll come short, he'll go in the channels, all this sort of thing. Whereas someone like Almiron, who's a little bit maybe too excited at times and not enough savvy, sometimes he'll get in the way. But again, I don't want to diss Almiron because he's class last night. It makes such a difference, man. Great. It would have been a lovely assist for ASM had it not been for Kasper Schmeichel's great save. Got down the wing well, passed it in. Great save it was. First goal, I think it was a pass. It was, I can't remember now. It was just the Almiron one where he whipped it in behind and it sort of, he broke free. Good pace to get onto it. And like he said in his post-match, I've seen it on Twitter, post-match interview, classic Wilson. I like that. He knew what to do. The goal he had, as he said, Wilson, the man, he said it himself, the keeper had his feet planted. He just shifted around and stuck it in the net. Brilliant, confident man. You know, for someone who, through no fault of his own, primarily because of injury, hasn't scored for so long. There's no nerves there, man. No nerves. You know, obviously he had that goal chalked off against Liverpool, but he goes through one-on-one, and there's no doubt. I mean, he's missed a few this season, but he goes through one-on-one, and in my head, there's no doubt he's going to score. And I can't remember the last time I had that feeling. Maybe for a brief spell when we had Remy on loan. Maybe Dwight Gale in the Championship. Or if you want to dial it back even further, nearly, will be 20 years ago. 10 years ago. Papi Cisse, when he first turned up, you know, when we signed him in January, and that half a season he couldn't fucking miss, could he? But he's so good, Callum Wilson, best striker we've had for years. His second goal, excuse me, he's put through again. Bends it, beautiful, comes back off the post, unlucky, and he just sticks in straight away, first touch, in with his left foot from that angle. You know, you're thinking from that angle, if you're going to be in a tight angle, you're going to right foot again, but he just does it with his left foot. No doubt, it's in. Confidence, wow. Subs, who did we have that came on? Do you know what? I can't fucking remember. Right, we're back. I had to delete some videos there because phone storage flagged that. Right, so subs. The first sub was Joe Willock. Went down. I think he's all right, though. So, as a precaution, Sean Longstaff came on. That was around like 75 minutes, 73 minutes, I think. Sean did all right. It was unfortunate for him. He came on at a point where we really sort of were knackered. And we sort of sat off and just sort of, a natural bit of complacency is going to set in at 4-0 up, for Christ's sake. So he did all right. He didn't have an awful lot to do because Leicester had most of the ball. He harried, he chased, a few decent passes. He'll want to try and get himself back into starting 11. And to be honest, if Miggy and Willock keep playing like they did last night, the only way he's going to get back into the starting 11 is replacing John Joe Shelvey, and he hasn't got the same range of passing, so that's not going to happen. Next one, I believe, was Joe Linton for ASM. ASM, obviously, he didn't have his best game, but more minutes in the legs. He gives us something different. He's our best player. He didn't dominate the game like he has done, but he's a constant threat. The defenders, obviously, they had a late change because Johnny Evans pulled it injured, I think, in the warm-up or something. So they had a winger playing at like right centre-back. And they were just scared to death of him, weren't they? You know, he just presents so many problems. Joe Linton come on. Again, didn't have much to do. Did all right. Put himself about, a few decent touches. I did think at 4-0 up, you know, this is the chance to give Andy Carroll 10 minutes, but didn't happen. You know. And then I think it was Miggy off for Jeff Hendrick. So that was that. He didn't have much to do. I think it was like 85th, 86th minute. So again, there's nothing to comment on really. Not a massive fan of Jeff Hendrick. We've got better players than him, I think. But there we go. That's that. So overall, great performance. We stayed on the front foot. We played really well. Our front two just give us so much a threat on the counter-attack, the pace, their ability, their movement is class. One little negative, just to be balanced about it. Subs, I think, in my opinion, were made too late. You know, as soon as we went 4-0 up, I think we could have made changes, you know, just to give people a rest, get players on that haven't played much, you know. For example, Jeff Hendrick, again, I'm not his biggest fan, but he hasn't played a lot of football. Get him on for 20, 25, 30 minutes, you know. So I think Steve was a little bit about that. But then again, everyone was playing so well, there was no need. So it was one of them. But yeah, great performance. Great result. 4-0 up. Wow, at one point. 4-2 away to Leicester. Now, Leicester, I was watching it and talking to my missus at the same time and explaining to her, and bless her, she's got no interest whatsoever, but she pretends to listen. And I was saying, you know, Leicester are a proper team. They're a proper football team. They're a club that I want Newcastle to be. You know, they've spent money, but they haven't splurged and taken over the market like a Man City or a Chelsea did, or even a Man U with massive transfer fees. you know, that they've promoted youth, they've done things properly, they coach players instead of just buying new players all the time. And I would love Newcastle to be like Leicester. So to go there and beat them, all right, they didn't play well, they a load of mistakes, but it was good. Wow, come on, let's carry this on. Man City next weekend, so obviously that's going to be a harrowing defeat, I imagine. But if we can just get a good performance, hopefully we're up to 13th now. I know Palace have 2 games in hand on us, or a game in hand and obviously a game to play. Southampton play Liverpool later on. I'm going to go and watch that. It's my dad and my brother are Liverpool fans. I think Fulham play Burnley. So if Burnley win, I think they overtake us and put us back down to like 17th probably. But I think we're 12 points ahead of Fulham. So if Fulham lose, they're relegated. We're officially safe. Come on. Yeah. Great performance, great result. Yes. On to the next one.